Hello, everybody. I'm Jay Streamer. I'm going to do a little ScoutBook intro tonight, I guess. Hopefully, everybody has an account already, but if you haven't got an account, when you log into the ScoutBook homepage, it should look kind of like this. And ScoutBook.com, okay? www.scoutbook.com. And if you do, once you log into the ScoutBook page, homepage, there should be a login screen like this. And what you want to do is put your My Scouting username and password. And if you haven't got an account set up yet, you want to just go with, it should pop up saying, would you like to be tied to your unit if you're one of the key three. Now, if you're not one of the key three, you would have to go in through their account or have them go in to set it up initially, and then you would be able to, hopefully that worked. I don't know if that did or not. All right. Just give me a second here while I'm logging into my, there we go. All right. So I'm borrowing this from a guy that had did this during Wood Badge, but why ScoutBook, okay? So why would you get on ScoutBook? Well, you want to get on ScoutBook, A, because it's free, and C, also because by getting on there, you don't have to go on to Internet Advancement anymore and do that. It automatically syncs with that. So, and then your parents can get on and view their scouts advancements on there through ScoutBook. So whereas the old system, you couldn't do that. So this is a great way of being able to do that. You can create pack, troop, or crew ScoutBook pages. We can record Cub Scout adventures. We can record troop advancements and venturing awards. If you're a key three, or if you have permission from one of the key three, you'll be able to do that. Then you can also make like advancement reports. So what we'll do is I will show you on my account. So once you log in, and I can't remember because I signed up for this before it became free and before they used the My Scouting username and password, but I'm assuming that they'll tie you, all accounts, all troops have had accounts already created, so, and packs and venturing crews. So it's just a matter of you tying yourself into there and being one of the key threes. So what I do is whenever I log into ScoutBook, it brings up a page kind of like this here, and I go into my dashboard, okay? So this is kind of what mine looks like. Mine's set up so it brings up my family, as you can see right here, my three sons, and then it also brings up my Cub Scout Arrow of Light Den that I'm in charge of. And it also brings up the 3 units that I can do advancements on. So what for this demonstration, what we'll do is we'll go into Troop 69. Take a look in there once. As you can see, it shows all the kids that are in my troop. So for this purposes, we'll go into one of my kids here. So when you get into a kid's deal, you can, if you're one of the key three, as you can see here, there's a bunch of different places that you can do things with. And the first one that we'll show you is, this is the troop page, like I said, and Cub Scouts will be pretty similar, and I can show you on that too, but it'll bring up a page, it'll show what they've completed, what ranks they are, and then it'll bring up the next rank and how far they are from getting to that next rank. And then like in this situation, it'll also bring up palms, like if they've earned more than their allotted merit badges, and it'll start keeping credit for palms too. So it'll keep track of all that. So to enter, like for, let's say you're looking at the scout rank, for instance, what you want to do is you go down and it'll show all the different requirements for scout. And if they've earned one, what you do is you click on the box that they need to earn, and then it'll show, it'll come up with a place where you can, I'll show you once. It'll bring this page up here and it'll say date completed. And what you're going to want to do is if they've completed that requirement, you put in the date that they completed it. You put in, you got to check this box here, leader approved and recorded, and then you hit save. Or if it was done today, you can just hit the leader approved and hit today. And if there's any notes, like let's say you're entering this in for your Scoutmaster or whatever, you can say, I entered this in, he achieved this at such and such date, and you can kind of, it'll be nice because then the Scoutmaster will be able to come back and look at that and say, okay, I understand how this got put in there, why it got put in there.
What are you doing?
All right. So what we're going to look at now is, I'm going to go back to this ScoutBook slide presentation here. So to create the pack, troop, or crew ScoutBook page, you log into www.scoutbook.com. You enter in your My Scouting. All of you should have a My Scouting account. If you're not, you got to go on to myscouting.com and start up your own account. And so then that account, once you have set up an account there, that username and password then will be used for your ScoutBook login. All right, and so then I showed you how to record a troop advancement, kind of very vanilla-like. I'll go into the Cub Scout adventures and show you that part of it. So what we're going to do here is we'll go back home to my home screen. Like I said, my dashboard is kind of like brings up your main screen of your. Now I'm going to go into Pack 69 for the Cub Scout side. And as you can see, it'll show all the different dens that you have. So if I click on, let's say, Weeblo's Den Arrow of Light, it'll bring up my 4 arrow lights. And then you can also go into something like this, and you can put down like show next rank percent. You can hit update, and it'll tell you how far they are. Say all 4 of my kids have earned Arrow of Light. And so it says 100% on there. So if you wanted to change, you go into something, you go into like, I'll go into my sons, and it'll show all the different belt loops that they've, and pins that they've earned. Just give me a second here. We're gonna be putting all of you guys on mute. And if you need to ask a question, just type it in under the. All right. So if you need to ask a question, just feel free to type it in. And but anyway, so here's all the different like belt loops and pins that he's earned through his Cub Scouting career. And I'll also show up here, you know, like the different ranks he's earned, his Weeblo patch and his Arrow Light patch. So if you come down to his advancement, you can click onto something like, I'll go to one that he hasn't earned yet. So see, we come down here and it brings up all the different pins that you can earn as a Weeble. So if, let's say you go into Aquanaut and you come down and you're like, okay, I took my kids to the swim pool last week and we went over, you know, a couple of these things. So you click into this and then you type in, like I say, I always hit leader approved recorded. And then you can either hit this calendar over here to enter a date in, or you could just have hit today if you wanted to. You come down here and go, we went over this at the pool last week. And then you can hit that post note. And then you hit save. So now, as you can see, it'll go up this. And what this will do is send something to your Cub Master. And it'll say, Jonah has earned requirement number 1 on Aquanaut, and then he's got to approve it. And once he approves it, and if he's earned them all, then he'll earn that pin. So let's go back to reports now. And we'll start, actually, we'll go through these. Okay, so why ScoutBook? It's free, it's official, it's transferable. Those are the reasons why. Changes and requirements are automatically updated, like we talked about. Multiple options for report generation. Corresponding iPhone or Android app, which is the scouting app. It's a red app, I believe, that you can put on your phone, and the parents can then, or the kids can have this app on their phone. They can check ScoutBook. But I think it's called Scouting, right, Eric? Scouting is the app. Just the parents? Okay. Isn't there a one for the kids? I thought there was.
It's the same, but leaders cannot use the app.
Leaders, yeah. Leaders can't, but the kids can, and the parents can, right? They can use Scouting app. All right. So then, like I said, when I got on here, creating a ScoutBook page for your unit. Your unit page has already been created by Scouts BSA. And the initial administrator assignments are set up by the Cub Master, Scout Master, or Advisor if you're on a crew, or the committee chair, or the chartered order rep. You have to be one of those 3 to get it initially set up. And then you can allow other people to do, if you've assigned somebody to be your ScoutBook chair, you can assign somebody on there to be able to edit ScoutBook for you. And the nice thing is it brings up, so this is going to kind of walk you through, like I showed you, dashboard, I showed you that. And this is kind of a step-by-step. So then you can go down to quick entry down here on this one. So that's, let's say you have 5 or 6 kids that have earned the same rank. If you have 5 or 6 kids that have earned the same rank at the same time, you can go into quick entry and enter them all in. You can enter in and then you can hit quick entry. You can choose an action like enter at adventures. And then it'll bring up all the adventures. Okay, so you select which ones down here, these scouts, which are these scouts for per se that event or that have earned that. And then you can go up here and select the ones, or you can select them all. Let's say they all did it at camp. And you can select all and it'll select them all. But, or let's say you did 3 of them at a meeting. And then you can select the kids down here once you start selecting these. And then you can do it without going on to each scout and doing it. It gets to be kind of drawn out otherwise. And here they're doing the same thing on the scout side. And like I showing you just a little bit ago, this is like they got second class up here where you can go through and select which ones they've earned, and it'll save those for them. And yeah, see, this is the screen I was showing you. This is for a Discovery Award. So creating reports. This is something that's kind of really nice about ScoutBook, is that you can, so like, let's say you got to go up to Shelly and you don't like know what patches everybody's earned, and you're like, you used to always have to write them down on a piece of paper, and you're like, gosh, I can't remember, you know, did Johnny earn this or not? I can't remember. So you can come down here and go to, for instance, you can go to needs purchasing, but before you do that, I usually go to like needs approval. And we'll show you that if this doesn't show you what to do on that. And this, yeah, so let's switch this over to my, so I'll show you kind of how I generate a report. If I go into the troop page and I come down and it shows all the kids in my troop, and I come down here to troop reports. And then it'll bring up this, and it'll be like, needs approval report. See, now Beth's behind on approving her troop 1069. So you select on that, and it'll tell you who that's on there and what they need to be approved. All right, so she has one scout on there that has some stuff that needs to be approved. And so we'll go back one. So once you have everything approved, go back to troop reports, then you can go to needs awarding and needs purchasing. All right, so I like looking at the needs awarding report. So let's say, let's go down here to my son, for instance. So Gabriel's got like astronomy, disabilities awareness, life saving, and swimming. And these are ones that have, let's say we went to purchase them and Shelly ran out of merit badges. Let's say she didn't have disabilities awareness merit badge up there. Once I give or award a merit badge to a kid, I select this. And then I go down and hit at the bottom of the screen, mark as awarded, okay? That tells me that the kids received it in their hand. Otherwise, sometimes you have a problem. Like, let's say a kid didn't show up to the court of honor and you didn't get them their patch. Now you can say, okay, I haven't given him his patch yet, right? If you have them in a, you know, a tote, or if you just have them laying loose, you know who you've given your patches to. So that's, I really use this feature a lot because it helps me keep track of who I have to still give patches to. So needs purchasing report. This is what you can print off. We'll select this PO here. Let's see here. No, here we go. View open PO. So this is one that we've already got open here. So what it'll do is when you hit purchasing, it'll tell you all the different things that you need to be purchasing. It'll say how many items you got at the bottom. And what you can do with this is send this up to Shelly. You can take a screenshot of it, take a picture of it, and send it up to her and say, hey, but she could also get on and look at it too. But what I usually do, or we print it off or whatever, or if you're going up there to pick them up in person, or you can kind of send her this and they can get you your patches that you need upon payment. So instead of writing everything down, you can go right to this, which is kind of neat. As long as you're keeping up to date on putting the advancements in to your home site. All right, so we'll go back to this screen here. Here's the app for the iPhone and Android. And to be honest with you, I'm not real familiar with the app because everything I do is through the ScoutBook page, being the Scoutmaster. But I think, you know, everything on here is pretty self-explanatory. If you're a parent and your Scoutmaster or Cubmaster has their page set up, they got to connect you and get you connected to their account, to your kid's account. And I can show you how to do that here in a second. So then that way, if you're not a Cubmaster or a Scoutmaster, you can tell them how to. So we'll run through that real quick. So what we do is, let's say, I'll click on one of my kids here. Let's say we go down here and we want to add somebody to my son's connections, okay? So we come down to connections, and these are the people that are connected to my son. So that means they can either view them, and then sometimes they can edit them, all right? So full control means that they can do anything on there. Some of them have just view profile or view advancement. The key threes usually have full control, but a lot of them have just like view profile or view advancement. Usually I don't put edit profile on there. Usually it's view profile and view advancement. That's really all, you know, like a parent needs to have. Otherwise, there could get some issues where they're putting things in when you don't want them to. So to add somebody, if you're a Scoutmaster or Cubmaster or somebody like that, you hit the add button here. Say, hey, I want to add, let's say I want to add my wife onto him, on his account. So you go up here and you type their name in and you hit search. See, and it says, okay, there she is. So then you hit that. And then it'll bring up a screen and it'll say, relationship to Gabriel. She's a parent. Possibly an other family. No, she's a parent. But let's say, you know, if you're just an adult leader, you could click that one if you wanted to. So, and then down here is the buttons that you can select on there. And I sometimes have problems with the permissions on this. Sometimes if you click this off, or if you mess around with this somewhat, see, now it'll show you what. So you don't, let's say you don't want to give her full control, and you don't, but you want her to view advancement, right? But you don't really want her to edit advancement. So, and she could probably edit her own son's profile if need be and view his profile. So see, those are all flicked to the right. So then you go up and then you click. Now that didn't work. Like I say, I think there's still some bugs in some of this, but what you can do is, sometimes I've had luck doing is I go off on the ones that I don't want them to do. And then I come up and hit one of these other ones. See, even though she is a parent, for some reason, it won't let me. Let's try doing it now. Yeah, see, then it goes back to that. So I've had luck doing it that way before, just hit another family member. And there's still bugs in this system. They're working on getting them cleaned up all the time. So let's say that's what we have for her. So then you come down here and it'll give you this little disclaimer. So what you do is you hit invite. It'll say, hi, an account for you has been created on ScoutBook, blah, blah, blah. And it'll give them a way to log in to view their advancements, okay? So then you hit invite, and what it'll do is it'll send them this message along with instructions on how to connect with their kid on ScoutBook. But like I say, you have to be somebody that's got permissions to do this to be able to, so a Scoutmaster or Key 3.
I was just going to jump in here just for a second, Jay. So by default, so if you just leave where it says Sarah Streamer, just check, you give, check this and check it. Oops, type your name back in there. Okay. So by default, you can give them permission to by default, it gives them permission to everything. If you put parent, it changes their permission, or if you just say it's an adult leader.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't want every parent to have all.
No, but what it does is it's giving them access based on their position or what you're saying here. So
let's see, right now they're all checked as permission is what I'm getting at.
Oh, I see.
We don't want, you don't want everybody to have all permission.
Sure. We'll look into that.
Yeah.
See if we get a little more.
Like I said, because if you give everybody, all parents, permissions for everything, they will, sometimes that could lead into a situation where you got people putting things in that you don't want them to. Most people you want one person, maybe two, to be able to edit advancements. Otherwise, the rest of them, you want them just to be able to view it. So anyway, that's how you do that, and then you just click invite, and it'll invite them to be on ScoutBook, and then they should be, once they're connected, they should be able to get on the app and check their kids. And there is some people that have problems connecting to their kids on the app. So if, let's say you're having problems connecting on the app, go onto the web page and see if you could connect to your Scout that way. If you can view their stuff, sometimes there's a glitch in there. I've had a couple parents come up to me and they haven't been able to view their kids' advancements on the app, and they end up going on the website and then they can view them. But there is a way, and let me know if that's the case. I can send you something that'll tell you how to fix that. There's a process to get it. There's a couple of permissions that need to be switched around. And all right. So this is the last slide here, and it just, yeah, for further information, you can go to this site right here for right now and view. But other than that, this is just kind of a little quick intro